Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beat the Odds Fantasy Basketball. I'm here today to go over or to present to you the Triple C Fantasy Basketball League draft. I'm Dave, or Beat the Odds. You'll see me picking ninth in this draft. This is a head-to-head league, and it's going to be a snake draft format. Very excited. This is one of my favorite. This is my favorite format to play in, so I'm glad that this is the format that we have chosen for this league. The draft itself is going to start in about, well, you can see the timer on the top there, just a little over 10 minutes. Gives us enough time to kind of go over a little bit of strategy here. I'm not going to give too much away because I know that there's likely going to be some people from the draft that are going to be watching this here, but for those who aren't in the draft or maybe are embarking on fantasy basketball for the first time, I'll give you a couple of tips that I like to use when I draft. Let's see, starting with for me, I like to try that. Some people like to do, some managers I've seen like to punt certain categories. I don't mind punting turnovers, but I do like to go for an all around team approach outside of that. My goal is to try and pick up at least 5 out of the 9 wins per week for each category. I like to get 5 of those. So I figure that the best way to do that is to have a team that can kind of do a little bit of everything. I also like to target players who have expanded roles on their team. So, centers who pass or guards who rebound, for example. It helps out in unexpected categories to kind of add to that all around a team approach. I don't mind picking up injured players as long as they're expected to play before fantasy playoffs begin. That's a big deal here in head-to-head leagues. You just need to make the playoffs, and then after that, whatever roster that you have there is what you're going in on. So if I'm missing a key guy at the start of the season, I'm typically okay with that as long as they don't have lingering injuries and stuff as the season goes on, and they're available for the final few weeks of the season during fantasy playoffs. And of course, I like to look for players who play multiple positions. This is key if you're plugging your guys in and out of your lineup. You want to make sure that they're flexible enough to be able to plug into a guard or a forward spot, or a forward or a center spot. It's handy to have that kind of flexibility on your squad. Now, in draft stages, the first 5 rounds, typically what I do is I like to pick the best player that's out there. I'm not too strategy focused in the first 5 rounds, because usually the first 5 rounds you can almost see, you can guess how that goes. There's very few surprises that I typically see within that stage. In the middle rounds, it's a little bit different. Now you're going to try to fill positional gaps. So if you pick the 5 best players, and 3 of them might be guards, you have a forward and you have a center, well, I might start looking for forwards and centers in the middle rounds to kind of round out the team a little bit better. And then the late rounds, I've got sleepers lined up here that I plan on utilizing, hopefully, during this draft. And I find that a lot of drafts that I feel really good in afterwards is because I hit some of my sleepers towards the end of the draft. Now, in a snake draft, I wouldn't be scared to start a positional run. Just don't be the manager to end a run. So what that means is, if, let's just say, there hasn't been a center that's been picked for a while and you need one to fill a spot, you can go ahead and get that run started. It's not a bad idea to do that, because you're going to get, once a turn comes around to you, there's a chance that other people will follow your lead and they'll pick up centers there as well, which leaves you in a good position to pick up the best forward or guard that might be out there. But if you are at the end of a run, then you're picking up the scraps of what could have been a 2 to 3 runs worth of centers in one round. So it's much better to try and get that run started instead of to try and finish it. Okay, so let's jump right to the actual draft here. So we are down to 7 minutes left. I'm going to be flipping back and forth. I'm actually drafting on my phone. This is the, for those who may not be familiar with the setup, this is the Yahoo Fantasy presenter screen. So there is a screen that you can do, that you can actually go on your computer, and it looks, well, hold on, let me load it up here. I have it on my phone as well. It looks more like, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it looks more like that. You can do that off your computer. It's actually, I don't think you can actually physically make a pick off of this way, so I'm picking from my phone, but it's just nicer for the YouTube, um, or just to try and present it here in this mode here. It looks a lot cleaner. So I'm going to be doing it off of this mode now, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of, for those who may not be familiar with this setup. On the left of the screen here, below the clock, this is the rounds, or the list of how or when you pick. Now I have to do a call out to Ball and Bozos. In this randomizer, I was actually the 12th pick, and he traded with me for 9th. So I have a feeling he's got a nice strategy for the turn in round 1. But I'm happy to go 9 here. I want to see if I can grab somebody who might fall lower than expected. And I might be lucky enough to be able to grab that. So I'm going to go 9th, and then you'll see all of the rounds and stuff as I scroll down the list. There should be 13 rounds. 14 rounds in this draft. It's kind of nice. It's also a 12-team draft. I kind of wish Yahoo would jump back to 12-team leagues. I prefer them to 10-team leagues. I think there's a little more competition this way. A little bit more of a fight to be able to make the playoffs. So I'm much more of a bigger advocate for 12-team. Nevertheless, we are in a 12-team, so that's good. I'm happy for that. You'll see the teams kind of listed in the front here, and then at the top of this screen, you'll see, the next positional player ready to bid, or ready to be picked up. So as you click on, I don't really see on this. It's kind of hard to show you on this screen here. Tell you what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to leave this, if I can. Yeah, I'm going to leave this for just a second. I'm going to show you guys the regular screen. That might be a little bit easier. Bear with me here a quick second as I reload this. There we go. Okay, so this is what this screen actually looks like. So I can click on a player and stuff down here in my pick selection, and then they're going to show up, of course, up here, and I can see last year's stats and what they're predicted to do this year. I don't play a whole lot of, put a whole lot of thought into the 25-26 projected. I always find these are all over the map. So I'm more feel for what I think the player is going to do and how I have them ranked in my mind. And I just kind of go from there. I think for the sake of this draft here, I am going to leave it on this. For those who are watching this live here, I want to thank you for joining us. If you are a fan of this channel, please do leave a like on the video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Very much appreciated. And be sure to leave a comment in the chat. I don't necessarily need Dan Titus to explain to me how to do fantasy basketball. I've been an avid manager for almost 30 years. I've been doing this, so I think I've got a pretty good feel for how to be able to maneuver through a fantasy basketball draft. But yeah, so first 5 rounds, as mentioned, I'm going to basically be looking for the best players that are available out there. I'm going to try to not pick up all of the same position if I can. You don't really want to have 4 point guards to start out, even if they're, league-winning point guards, you do want to spread it out there a little bit because then you're going to end up punting a bunch of categories. But I am going to be leaning more into who I think has got the best shot at giving me that, all-around type feel, all-around type player, and plug him into my lineup. So I've got a few guys I'm hunting, but we'll see kind of how it goes once the draft starts. I certainly will be looking at trying to fill those missing positions in the second part of the draft. Then, as mentioned, in the third part of the draft, I will be going for my sleepers. Now, I'm not going to really mention sleepers too much, who I'm looking for towards the end of the draft, because I have a feeling we're going to see, I might see some of my league mates in here, and they may end up picking those guys instead of me. So we'll keep that on the down low for now. But I do certainly have a nice list of players that I'm going to be looking to get here towards the end of the draft. Okay, we're just under a minute before the draft starts. Good luck to all those who are in this draft, and I also wish myself a little bit of good luck. I've brought a Kirkland strawberry kiwi sparkling beverage. Thank you, good old Costco. A huge fan of that type of drink there too. Typically like to bring one on here because I do a lot of talking, and voice can get a little raspy if I don't feed it there a little bit while we're on the draft. So yeah, we're about 10 seconds away. So here we go. Looks like everybody's pretty much in, except for, actually, I think the only person that isn't in right now is the convener. So hopefully she'll be able to make it in before it's her pick. But here we go. Jokic goes number 1. I had a feeling this, I kind of like Wemby number 1 this year. I know it's a huge risk given his clot. Ooh, Shea goes second. Wow, okay. Wemby third. There we go. So he's off the board. Luka goes 4th. Giannis goes 5th. That's going to tank the the free throw percentage. And I have a feeling he's not. Well, you know what? Miles Turner in town there. He's not really much of a rebounding center, so I don't think that's going to affect him too much. He's basically like Brook Lopez, except for younger. So that was a pretty savvy pickup by Milwaukee. Now here's where it gets interesting. Edwards 6. I'd love to get my hands on either Cunningham or Davis. If one of those falls to me there, I will be for sure picking him up. Crossing fingers for either one. Again, it doesn't bother me too much with Cade's turnovers. I can live with those because he's going to be a positive contributor in every other category. And he had a nice breakout season last year. We the ones are thinking. They're thinking now. I'm already into my drink. 10 seconds. Who we got? Oh, here we go. Oh, geez, I got Cade or Davis. Ooh. See, this is where I'm going to go Anthony Davis here because there is, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point guard, 6, 7 point guard eligible, 8 point guard eligible players here that I can pick from in my next pick. So Cade might have arguably been the best player to pick up here over Davis. I guess we'll see kind of how it goes. I still like Davis's outlook because he's another monster contributor in every category, and he's a positive in field goals and free throws. So I certainly don't mind picking him 9th. Karl Anthony Towns, who went ahead of me in 7th. I like him as well. He's as effective. He's going to be a bigger scorer than AD, but he's not going to contribute in steals and blocks the same way. Trae Young, he's going to hurt you in free throw percentage or field goal percentage. Sorry, but AD for a center who can shoot 80% from the line. I mean, those are hard to come by. All right, let's see what happened after that. So Cade went 10th, Devin went 11th, and now we got a couple of old guys out there. Ooh, DeMontis went 12th. A couple of old guys, and Harden and Curry. We'll see if they happen to go before I pick. I'm not too interested in picking up either one of those. I really like Maxey, though. If I can get my hands on Maxey or Mitchell. I find it surprising Amen Thompson is so high. He's definitely going to be a bigger part of the offense with Fred VanVleet out, but Fred wasn't really much of a scorer when he was playing. So, I mean, you might see more facilitating from him, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the primary facilitator. I actually think that between him and Reed Shepherd, it's going to be pretty close for assists for the season between the two of them. All right, we got Harden and Curry and Maxey out there. There's also Kevin Durant. I don't know. I have a hard time picking older guys, I suppose. I've been burned too much. Mobley goes 14th. Wow. Cassie's digging deep already. I do like Mobley. Don't like him there. I got the next pick. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can, looking at getting Maxey, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot to pick from here, so I wouldn't be too bummed if I don't get him. Oh, there goes Steph Curry. So Maxey is on the board. He is going to be joining the team. So I feel pretty good about my first two picks. I got a nice little spread. I got a guard and a center, or a center eligible player. So I feel good about that. I do like to typically bookend at the start of a break here. If I'm one of the first couple of picks, I'd like to pick either Luka or Shea or Wembanyama or Jokic if I get top 4, and then I'll basically hope to be able to land a big center or point guard for whatever position I was missing in the second round. So again, I got to do that this time with Davis and Maxey. Oh, there goes Scotty Barnes. LaMelo Ball went 18th. Hopefully he's healthy. He's healthy. Sorry. So yeah, if you guys are watching this right now, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'd love to get something started in there. If you're watching this on replay here, I want to thank you for spending the time with us. And feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll be happy to respond back to you guys on what's going on. And I've been a little bit absent in the fantasy basketball community over the last month. There's actually something new. There's a new project that I'm working on. Not fantasy sports related, but it is a new YouTube channel that I'm going to be doing for math tutoring, actually. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. I'm looking to see if I can balance that with some fantasy basketball analysis. We'll kind of have to see how the season goes. But for now, I should be, at least to start the year, I'll be putting some stuff out here for you guys to digest. We got 9 picks left before my next turn here. As I'm looking down the list, we're kind of to that pick 30 range. There's a few guys that stand out that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Jaylen Brown, I don't think he's going to fall to me, but he would definitely be a nice one for me to get. He's going to be the main guy in Boston this year. Giddy's another nice one here. Pascal's the main guy in Indiana, so I'd expect his scoring to rise. LeBron, if I'm picking an old guy, he's going to be the one that I pick. Now, of course, he's got that sciatica that he's dealing with, or I don't know, the report of a bruised glute or something. He hurt his bum. So his start of the season is going to be delayed. But he's a guy that's going to be a good one for an all-around type team. Just keep in mind he's over 40, so don't expect a whole lot of stocks from LeBron this year. Zion is an interesting one down here as well because he does do more playmaking for a power forward. He's actually listed as a small forward too. I didn't know that. That's wild. I think it's the first year I've seen him listed as a small forward. Like height-wise, that's right, but I remember when he was listed as a forward center. So that's kind of wild to me. Okay. Not really paying a whole lot of attention here. What do we got? Jaylen Brown is gone. LeBron James is gone. Jalen Johnson is also gone. Hey, we got some players in the chat. By the looks of it, we're up to 5. Thank you guys for joining. Feel free to let me know who you are and where you're from. And if you can hear me okay. Mic check. 1, 2. 5 picks left to go here. What do I see? I got a couple guys that I wouldn't mind picking up here. Bam just got picked up. He was one that was on the list here for me. Derek White's actually an interesting one. I absolutely love picking up Derek White every single year, but I have a hard time justifying picking him up in the 3rd round. Oh, there goes Josh Giddey. Paolo's gone too. Paolo's a nice pick there for We the Ones. I like that. Solid pickup. Hey, Danny, nice pick, bud. Franz just got picked. All right, we're getting Siakam. Need to have. I couldn't get Scotty, so I had to get an X-Raptor. One of my favorite players. One of my favorite Raptors of all time. Zubac goes 34th. There are some guys who are digging for the players that they want. Now, I do have fades in this, and I'll kind of let you know in a couple of them. One of them sitting here right in that expert rank 48, rank 58 range here, Joel Embiid. Although I have to say, actually, I shouldn't down on him too much. Reports out of Philly are saying that he's actually looking a lot more spry this year than he did last. Now, whenever I hear reports out of Philly of players being more spry, I think of Ben Simmons. So I don't know how much you actually want to put stock into something like that, but I may take a flyer at him if he happens to fall to my 5th pick. But I already have 2 very capable centers that I can plug in on the team already, so I'm not too concerned about picking up Embiid at this point. But if I was short a center, I'd give him a look for sure. Now, I am up again in 3 and 2 picks. Oh, there goes Dyson Daniels. I'm not expecting a repeat of his steal season from last year. That was kind of not a fluke. I can't really call it a fluke because it is within his skill set. and he is super lanky for a guy and very quick on his feet. I don't see him scoring as much this year. I actually think Zachary Risache is going to break in on his second year. He's gonna be a little bit more of a leader in the team scoring rank. And then of course you got Jalen Johnson back in the fold. So I don't really see Dyson Daniels repeating his value from last season. He's still going to he'll likely lead the league or be amongst the top leaders in steals. Sorry, I was about to say stolen bases. I'm still stuck in fantasy baseball here, but no, I think he's definitely going to be a factor there for sure. Okay, so it's coming around here to me. Cassie Rowe picks Zion, and we are loving it. Yeah, he's looking kind of slim there. I think it's the slimmest I've ever seen him here. If he worked on his free throws in the off season, which I mean I haven't seen reports, but if he can get it up to like 76% this year, he's going to be a beast. All right. Oh, there goes Brandon Miller. I was kind of keying in on him. Don't really want. Where do I want to go here? I'm a little stuck. So Trey Murphy, don't mind that pick. Oh boy. Don't think Bain repeats. Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't really need another center. Austin Reeves. Oh gosh, I don't even know what to do. I don't normally get stuck like this, but I am stuck right now. I think we're going Trey. Ugh. Not super happy about that one. Actually, I feel like I was a little less prepared to make that pick. But this is me kind of cheating into the second phase here a little bit and picking up a positional need more than picking up the best player. I could have easily went Jamal Murray or Austin Reeves here. I kind of liked both of them in that spot, but I couldn't really decide. There's also Cooper Flagg sitting down there that wasn't picked up. Um, for those who are for those who like to take risks and stuff, I have a feeling that he's going to be leaving, or he's going to get picked up here pretty quick. There are a few guys in this range that I'm interested in for sure, though. So we'll see kind of what happens in the next 12, 13 picks to get to that spot. There goes Joel Embiid. We the ones picking him up at 42. I don't mind that. I mean, I made the risk and I paid for it. I made the risk picking Joel up in like I think he was the ninth pick. I had one of the last picks and I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll be okay in the second half. Yeah, well, we all know how that went. A lot less risky. Sorry, for your fourth rounder than it is for your first rounder. So thank you again, those who are joining us. And there goes Cooper Flagg. Jaren Jackson Jr. was another one that I would have been happy to pick up, but having Davis and Siakam already on the team, it didn't seem wise to pick up a third center. Although, I mean, he was a power forward as well, so I could have used him in two other spots. Maybe that was the play. Either way, I'm still kind of happy with my Trey Murphy. If he balls out, he's going to be a good. Let me see if I can click back on it. Can I? No, I can't. Show drafted. I have to do it this way. Trey Murphy. Yeah, so I mean, an 89% free throw shooter, that plays a wing spot, that's pretty valuable. Not gonna lie. He's gonna hurt you a bit in field goals, but I've got no. Actually, I don't really have a solid free throw or field goal shooter. Anthony Davis is my best field goal shooter here for my forwards, and you can definitely do better than that. I need to look for a traditional big more than likely before this break concludes. But definitely the three pointers are going to be huge assets. He's going to be involved in the play as a playmaker, and he's going to chip in with steals and blocks. So actually, I don't mind that pick here for my fourth pick. Not the sexiest pick, I will admit, but he'll do. Jimmy's still out there. Bane's still out there. There goes Miles Turner. So last year was my first year in this league, and I was a little heartbroken. Not very often I don't make the playoffs in fantasy basketball. And I was in a pretty good spot too. I think it was 4th or 5th going into the final week. And I was almost mathematically assured of making the playoffs as long as I scored, I think it was two wins, or as long as I got 2 points in the head-to-head matchup, and the person in 7th lost 2 points in the head-to-head matchup. I think my magic number was 2. I think that's how you say it, right? At least for baseball, it is. And I think I went 1-8, and my opponent went, or the 7th place team went like 8-1 or something, and I ended up missing it by half a game. So yeah, I was a little heartbroken, but we're back. We're back for another year. Hoping for a bit of a better result here this season. So far, so good. I kind of like the team, how it's breaking down here so far, but there's still a lot of draft to go, a lot of work to be done. And of course, for those who, there isn't, it's not draft or bust. Draft well or bust. It's not how this league or any league goes. So if you don't really get the players that you're really hoping for, you can still amass a solid team. And I find that a good percentage of the players that you end up at the end of the season are not the players that you start with. So either by trade or if you're active on the waiver wire, you can always transform your team into something completely different than what you drafted. And if you play your cards right, that could push you into your league's fantasy playoffs. So I'm not really, it is important to draft well, but it's not a do or die kind of thing here. Speaking of do or die, I've been on a bit of a roller coaster with my Blue Jays of late. I didn't catch the end of the last game or this game that they played today. I just know that the score was 9-3. I imagine that was close to how it ended. And the team is heading to Seattle down 2-0. So not looking too good. Definitely a different feeling than what we witnessed watching them play against the Yankees. But hey, that's playoff baseball for you. So hopefully they can go to Seattle and do to them what they did in the regular season and sweep the series there. So that way they can come back to Toronto with an advantage. Okay, so we're picking next. Ooh. Curious. I'm going to take my risk. We're going to get Kawhi Leonard. Oh, he's already slid into my util spot here. That's interesting. So Kawhi, kind of along the same lines as Joel Embiid. These are players that you don't really anticipate playing the entire season for you there. But if the Clippers are in it late, Kawhi's going to be playing if he's healthy. And the guy is just super efficient. So I like players that are going to help me out in my percentages in a league like this because they both count. You want guards that can shoot well. You want centers that can help out with free throws. You want, wings that can do both. Kawhi can do both, so I don't mind that pick. I'll take the risk. I am going to need another guard though, and I do have somebody in mind, hoping that it's going to fall to me. Kessler's a nice pick. Duran and Kessler are nice picks here at 59 and 60. So congrats, Cassie, Roland, Ball, and Bozos. I do like those. I had my eye on both of those here. I was hoping to pick up maybe at the following term, but I don't think they would have gone that long. But I definitely need to pick up. Well, actually, I got 5. I got my 5 guys. So looking at my team, I'm heavy on, forwards, and I've only got Tyrese Maxey for guard. So I am going to be looking to see if I can pick up another guard. And there's a couple out here that I could see doing well with. Buzelis at 61. Wow. Ball and Bozos. I like Matas Buzelis. I do like him very much. He's definitely on my reach list. But I have a feeling I might have seen him stick around another round at least. We'll see. Well, I can't say we'll see. He's already gone. We'll see if that pays off. Ball and Bozos might be onto something. My turn is next. Should I go DeMar DeRozan? If I didn't pick up Kawhi, I might have picked up DeMar in this with this next pick. The dude plays and he's a big part. He gets a ton of touches. But that's not where we're going to go. We are going to go with Darius Garland. I know he's injured, but it's only short term. He'll be back. And once he's back, another one of those guys who is a solid field goal player, who's going to chip in greatly with assists, which is actually a category that I'm not super strong in at the moment. He should be able to help out with that. So that locks in another point guard. I don't have a shooting guard, so I'll be looking for one of those here in short order. I've got a few picks to go before that happens here. So, so far, let's take a look at draft results, standings. Nope. Can we see? No. Well, I guess we just have to go get this way. So, Sexton, your girl. Take a look at some teams here. Nice start. Actually, really good start. Especially it's going to depend on Brandon Ingram, how active he is in the Raptors offense. But this isn't a bad looking team here so far. It's shaping up quite nice. And of course, whenever you have Jokic centering your squad, literally, that's a very, very good thing because he's an extremely positive contributor in almost every category outside of blocks. So nicely done so far, Sexton, your girls. Bench warmers, let's see what we got. There's LeBron. Got a little age on this side here, but definitely going to be loading up on stocks with your guards here, or your guard eligible players. So I like that a lot. And then Jared Allen is a very, very underrated center, but he is almost an automatic double-double. Borderline. The only thing with Jared Allen is there's a lot of really good guys, good players on that Cleveland squad, so he doesn't see a ton of that offense. But he's definitely a big guy on the board. So I don't mind this team. LeBron gets a healthy season. Bench warmer should be in the mix. Ant Hill, what do we got? Short on guards. He's kind of in the same position as me. Peyton Pritchard is the lone guard so far that he's picked up, but he should. I think he might actually. Is he going to be starting? Maybe, maybe not. If he's not starting, he's definitely going to be picking up starters minutes off the bench. So I'd expect him to be amongst the lead leaders in 3-pointers made and be able to chip in with assists. I don't know if he's going to actually get 330 rebounds. I think that's a little bit of a push there, but should be good either way. I like the middle of this lineup, though. This is scary. So Jalen Williams, Jalen Johnson, Jaren Jackson Jr., Victor Wembanyama. Good Lord. I'm going to have a hard time going up against this team for stocks. That is for certain. Avdia is going to be a big part of that Portland offense as well. So this team is looking pretty scary here too. Let's go Patches O'Houlihan. What do we got? There's Scotty paired with Luca. That's a lethal combination. I like that a lot because they are very similar in output efficiency here, which actually may not be a great thing if because they're not great in either of the categories, but they are really good when it comes to the rest. Especially Scotty with your all-around game after that here. You're going to get him in blocks there too. So this is going to be an interesting duo. Cooper Flag, there's risk here, but it could pay off if he shows to be the real deal this year. Again, nice pickup there for stocks too, because he was a stock beast in college. Lauri Markkanen, people are sleeping on him. He was not too long ago a top 2-round pick. He's dropped to, I don't know when he got picked up on this team here. I'm going to guess 5th round. That's a pretty big ceiling for a guy in the 5th round. Now, of course, if Utah tanks, Lauri's not going to be present when you need them the most. But if they're competitive, they're fighting for a play-in spot here, he may see some time down the stretch. That's also an important thing now, and I guess maybe I'm doing myself a bit of a disservice. One thing that I usually like to do is take a look at the schedules in the last 4 weeks of the season to see which team is playing the most. You want to be analyzing that, not super hard, but enough so that way how to set yourself up well during the season. Also, something to look at when if you're looking to make trades during the season, that's something that you want to keep in mind. If you are coasting to a good seed, then you want to be looking at players who are going to be playing more in the playoffs to help you out when you get there. Okay. I'm very happy. Oh, hold on. I was super happy to see that Andrew Nembhard is still out there because he is going to be the lead guard in Indiana, but there is also a couple other guys that I like. Ooh, but not as much as Nembhard. And we need a shooting guard, and he is shooting guard eligible. So he is going to get drafted. That's going to be actually a huge boon for my assist totals because that is a super fast-paced offense in Indiana. Just think of how well or how many assists Tyrese Halliburton picked up last year. Nembhard, I'm not going to say he's going to be above 10 assists a game, but it's not unreasonable to think that he might get 8. So that's certainly somebody that's going to do really well playing in my shooting guard spot on this team. I don't mind that whatsoever. Now it's time to look at, there's a couple other players actually that are coming up that I really do like. So we're going to see how this next, 5 picks goes before I pick next. There is 2 guys, 3 guys actually on this list that I am hoping to get my hands, or to sink my hands into. So far, I'm kind of liking how this is going, though. I mean, I've I've got a full squad. I've got already 3 point guards, a shooting guard. So I'm going to need to pick up another one here relatively soon. Same as a small forward. I've got a power forward, 3 power forward eligible players, and 2 center eligible players. So far things are shaping up pretty nice. I do need to pick up a shooting guard, small forward at some point here soon. I also need to pick up probably another center here relatively soon. We'll see kind of how things go. So Cassie Roll, what happened to Cassie Roll? She's gone. Ended up with Isaiah Hartenstein though, or Hartenstein. I can't remember if it's Steen or Stein. Hello, Where by Ball and Bozos. We're already halfway through the draft. This draft is flying. I like it. We got 2 picks before it's our turn. I don't know where she went out. Where did she go out? She's been missing here for... Oh, there we go. Since my Garland pick. Oh, she's been out for more than a round. Something must have come up. And there goes Mark Williams. That's somebody that I actually had queued up. Another player that is a great pickup for those who are looking to maximize their percentages, because he's a really good free throw shooter at that center position. And he's going to give you a double-double. He's not going to shoot threes. You don't need him to. You should be able to find your threes elsewhere. He is going to pick up blocks for you. He's going to be a low-end double-double, so expect 12 to 14 points, close to 10 rebounds a night. And he's going to challenge for 80% free throw shooting, which is great for a center. Now, I need to take a look at my team here. Oh, it's too late. Jalen Green, never mind. That was somebody else I was taking a look at, because I really think he's going to be a huge scorer in Phoenix. Streaky scorer, but he can be a huge scorer in Phoenix. I'm torn between these two Portland players, Shaden Sharp or Donovan Clingan, because I need both positions filled. Blocks, I think that's where it's going to come down to, and I think we have to go Clingan here, so that way we're still competitive in block shots. Because keep in mind, he picked up 110 last year, but he didn't really play all that much. So his block rate is crazy. We should see that increase here. Oh, my turn to draft. Let me go, instead of me talking so much, we're going to go ahead and pick up Clingan. He's got the clear runway to that center position. Now that Ayton's out of town, I expect a monster season out of Donovan Clingan. So much so that I'm willing to leave Shaden Sharp on the wire. We the ones picking up RJ. I only have one, and it frustrates me whenever I watch Raptors games, seeing RJ Barrett at the line. I don't know for how someone who is, I can't say as effective a 3-point shooter. He's league average, I think. I have to take a look at the stats again. But he's a decent 3-point shooter. He's an atrocious free throw shooter. I don't know if I've ever seen someone be that bad at the stripe who wasn't a center. I don't know what it is, but he's got to clean that up big time. If he does, big pick. If you're punting free throw percentage, which is definitely a strategy, I've seen a lot of teams do that. RJ is a great pick because he's going to be a positive contributor in almost every other category besides blocks. Norman Powell. Next, there goes Shaden Sharp. Mississauga's very own. Oh, auto picked. Uh-oh. The auto picked Powell. There's another nice pickup here. Alex Sarr. I watched that preseason game. Uh, it was Washington's first. Yeah, good pick on Sarr. I was just going to say that. Sarr was a beast. He was definitely not the Sarr we saw last season. So the first thing I did once I finished the games, I went on my fantasy leagues to see how many shares of Sarr I could get, because some teams still left him on the wire. Unfortunately, I missed my shot and he was gone in all my leagues. But I do have a couple of shares of him already, and I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to be hanging on to him to see how well he does. Hey, Casserole's back. Uh-oh. Naz Reid. So back to my strategy of picking up or not starting a run, or not being the first to start a run. I don't feel too bad with how that went with my pickup of Donovan Clingan. It was kind of in the middle of that run. We had Hartenstein and Mark Williams. Kalel Ware went, and then I got Clingan, and then we see Sarr and Lively. Naz Reid picked up right after that. So it was kind of in the middle of that run. But now is where it's going to start to get interesting. We are in the back half of the draft, and this is where we start to see some real thinking as to what we want to do. I'm going to take a look at Onyeka Okongwu here for a second. Yeah, see, this is what I was confused. I don't really know what to expect with Okongwu, given that Kristaps Porzingis is in town. It kind of makes me think that Okongwu is going to handle a lot more of the defensive end of the of the game, and it'll leave Porzingis on the offensive side. And of course, Okongwu is a lot more durable, so he might not be as effective, but he's not going to be unleashed. There's definitely a ceiling here, so I'm a little hesitant to look at Okongwu. Although you take a look, he's another one of those centers with great percentages. I mean, almost 60% from the field, 78% from the line. I mean, that's pretty solid numbers. Definitely a good pick for those who are looking for that all-around team. And he shoots threes, and he's capable in blocks and steals. I might change my mind on him, but we'll see kind of how the draft goes. There goes Devin Vassell. Malik Monk. Not somebody I'd be looking at. I'm good with somebody picking up Malik Monk. I'm also a little torn with Tari Eason. He's typically one of the first guys off the bench, and then he'll make it into the starting lineup if somebody gets hurt. With Van Vliet out, I imagine the first shot of minutes is going to go to Reed Shepherd. It may end up going to Tari if Shepherd falters, which pushes Amen Thompson into that facilitator role. There's a few nice picks kind of coming up here that I like a lot, though. A lot. Wow. A lot. Need a shooting guard. There's a few out there. I'm going to get one of these for sure. one of KPJ, Jaden Ivey, CJ, Drew Holiday, or Reach. Like one of these are definitely joining the team. We'll just have to see which one. Shout out again to those who are watching this in the live or are watching this on replay. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day and spending it here with me. Onyeka Kongwu gone. Nice pickup, bench warmers. I like that. I like that pickup. Now, I was talking percentages and trying to keep that, on the up and up, and I pick up Klingon, who's obviously a terrible free throw shooter, but the nice thing about Klingon is that he doesn't get the line very often, so it's not going to hurt me too much. Fingers crossed. But if I start loading up on other centers who do that, and I'd like to maybe pick up one more before the draft ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got six more picks. Yeah, I got 6 more picks to make. I'd like to pick up one more center eligible player before the draft ends. But we'll kind of have to see how that goes because as it gets down the list, they're a lot more, or not nearly as valuable. You know who I do want to look for though? Hmm. Oh boy. Okay. Wasn't on my radar immediately, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to pick up DeJounte Murray. He's of course out, injured player, towards the back end of my draft, which is fine because the hope is he's healthy in time for fantasy basketball playoffs. Crossing my fingers a little bit on that one, but I think I'll be okay. I didn't want to miss an opportunity to get him. Oh, by the way, Nick Claxton, I like that pick. This was somebody who I was really kind of contemplating looking at getting in the center position. Problem with that, again, is he is going to be taking on more of that scoring load, and he is not a good free throw shooter. So I would be hurting for sure in that category if I went ahead and picked him up. But he's definitely a center on the rise. There's not a whole lot of offense in Brooklyn. He's probably the third. He's definitely the fourth option. Could be the third option, which is a big deal for a guy like Claxton. So that's a nice pickup. I like that. All right, we got one injured star. Yeah. That's a risk. We'll have to. We'll have to see kind of where Kyrie Irving ends up going here. I'm gonna have to play it kind of safe on him for now. We are coming up on our next pick here. Coming up quick on our next pick. And I got my guy in my sights. Let's see if he falls to me. All right, Toronto Raptors, don't do it. Don't pick up my guy. I've got a guy that I want. Leave him be. Oh, I wanted him too, but I am going to go ahead and pick up Jaden Ivey. People are sleeping on him as well, and he is very likely going to be the number 2 option on offense in Detroit next to Cade. And they really we haven't seen what those two can do, and I'm excited to see kind of how that works out. Now that Cade is kind of broken into his own, I think Jaden Ivey is going to be a big beneficiary of that. Okay, so that solves my guards. Especially when Murray returns, I will be set at guard. Actually, really set at guard. Oh, I forgot. I got Garland on the IL too. So Ivy's sliding into a starting spot right out of the gates with Murray and Garland on my injured list. Oh, there's Risache. He's gone. He's somebody that I had keyed up. Nice picks for We the Ones. Nice pick, Danny. If you're still watching. I like that pick a lot. A little angry he didn't come to me, but that's okay. You can't get them all. Especially in 12-team leagues. You certainly cannot get them all. But Risache was certainly somebody that that is on my list for reaches or for sleepers. All right. Headed towards the back end of the draft. 10 picks in. I'm going to do another little quick run over the teams just to see kind of how things are going. And I mean, I could be completely off on my assessments, but we'll kind of take a look here. For me, ideally, you know what we're going to do? Let's do average stats. We're going to look at last year's average stats. This is a little bit more telling as to what to kind of expect as opposed to the projected stats. I never really pay attention to projected stats. Let's look at the average stats. So ideally, when I look at a team, I would like a team that, if you're to take the percentages away, I want a team that can do a little bit of everything in each category. So I'd like to have, this team is going to be crazy good shooting threes. I wanted to have at least 8 guys on the team shooting at least 1 3-pointer per game, and I think they already got that here with Patches O'Houlihan. We still have 4 picks left, so he's good there. I'd like to get 5 players score 20 a game here. Don't quite have that based on last year's stats, but there's a few players in here that could easily get that. Scotty being one. I don't know if we'll see it from Bam. We might see it from Laurie, at least to start the season. Well, the 3 for sure. Cooper, I don't know. Luca, definitely. So, there's a couple of guys. Might not get that in here, though. We've got rebounds. I like to at least get, 5 guys rebound 8 a game for me. So Luca and Scotty are going to be amongst the league leaders in their positions for rebounding. So that's certainly going to help them out. Cooper might get that mark here. Bam might get that mark. The way I saw Sar play in against Toronto yesterday, he might get that mark. So there's definitely some possibility in there too. Assists, 5 guys with at least 5 a game. That shouldn't be a problem, I think, with this team. I expect more from KPJ. And then, of course, you've got Luca, Scotty, quickly. Bam, who's been a great assist getter here in the center position. Cooper might get close to that mark. He's going to be involved in the offense. He's got good IQ. So there are some pieces in here that'll be able to get him there. I don't know if he's got 5, but he's certainly got a few. Steals at least 1 per game. We got 5 of those already on the team, and KPJ didn't really play a ton of minutes last year. He played 75 games. Where was I? Is that right? That's got to be right. I think. Yeah, I think that's right. He played 75 games last year. I did not know that. So anyhow, 1.1 steals. That mark will definitely go up. So he's going to be fine in the steal category. I'd like to get at least 1 block out of 5 guys. I don't know if this team is going to be able to do that. Sar's definitely going to help, but outside of that, you don't really have a whole lot of shot blockers. So there is some work to be done on this team based on what I would like to draft, but not to say that it's going to like the team will be able to turn around. Where things change in a heartbeat. Now looking at Sexton, your girl. Here's a team that's going to be scary in scoring. Got Jalen Brunson and Nikola Jokic on the squad. Although, again, Brunson's 26 points per game was down from his year prior, 28. But this is now a team that's not super reliant on Jalen Brunson to score the ball. They've got a lot of capable scorers on that team. So I don't know if he's even going to hold that 26 this season. Nevertheless, you got 3 guys here. You got 5 guys already with 22 points plus per game. These guys are scoring a lot of points this year. Oh, there goes Reed Shepard. I didn't even realize that. He's gone. He gone. Rebounds. Not a whole lot of rebounders on this team. Miles Turner, unfortunately, is not a good rebounding center. So Jokic is going to carry that burden a lot. That makes his team a little bit more vulnerable in rebounds. Assists, 5 assist guys, 5 guys with 5 assists per. Close on that. Jaylen Brown will see some more offense, so it's plausible he'll get to that 5 mark. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if he's going to be improving on that this year. Drew Holiday, maybe. Reed Shepard for sure. So I think he's gonna have that on the team. I think he'll be okay. Steals, 5 with 1 per game. We've already got 5 there. That's good. Blocks, not really a whole lot outside of Miles Turner on this team. So he's going to be susceptible to rebounds and blocks. But other than that, this team is going to be probably amongst the league leader in scoring. So Sexton, your girl. Well done so far. Now, bench warmers. What do we got? 1, 2, 3 guys with 20 points. So a little bit top heavy with Hero James. James, who we'll see kind of how this season goes for him. I don't expect him to be continuing to hit 20 points per game every year. He'll probably see a dip there. Shea's going to be amongst the league leaders in points, if not lead the league in points. So no surprise here. Rebounds. Here's 1. Amen should be up there. LeBron, we'll see. 2, 3 for sure. Yeah, he's got It's got potential here. Not the strongest rebounding team, but it should be okay. Assists, I think this team is going to be okay too. Shea, you got a man who will likely chip in with more than that. Hero is up there. LeBron's up there. Jimmy Butler's up there. You should be fine with assists. Steals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, should be okay getting steals. Blocks, here's actually kind of handy getting your blocks from your guards. You got 3 guys who log a block a game, and then we got a few that are kind of around that. So I mean, it's going to spread the wealth a little bit there. He's not going to lead the league in blocks, but should be competitive in each week. Okay, let's kind of skip out of here for a second. Go back to players because our turn to draft is coming right up. Let's see. Where are we? Zach Edey. Jalen Wells is out there. I think we might be going Wells here. I like Wells or Edey. Maybe we go Edey. Do we go Edey? I need another center. Yeah, maybe we go Edey. Yeah. Ugh. I don't think there's any other centers that I've got. Yeah, we're gonna have to go Edey and just hope that he's gonna be healthy. Because we're starting to run out of centers, and I wanted to pick up another one before the draft ended. Hmm. Scratching my head a little bit on that one, but it wasn't on my list initially for sleepers, but he's all right. But I got to be careful. My injured list is starting to pile up a little bit. I don't really want to be starting the season with a full injured list. It's playing. It's playing a little too dangerous. Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the first 5 weeks of the season. I'm definitely more concerned about the last 5 weeks prior to the start of the playoffs. And the hope is that they're going to feed Edey more in the post. Because they need to be searching for more offense with Desmond Bain out of town. But we'll see. Hmm. Our picks coming up here pretty soon once again. Hmm. There's 2 players piquing my interest. I have a feeling I know which way I want to go. Do you have that feeling? Feeling in my bones. Yves Massey's out there too. He was a useful center last season. Went undrafted in pretty much every league. He's a rookie, of course, but he saw a good amount of play last season as their lead center. Okay, we pick next. Oh, Riptors, no! Hold on, I gotta put in the chat. Okay, well, that kind of solves that. I was looking real hard at Jalen McDaniels. Didn't want to say anything, of course, on the chat. Apologize for it there, but he was a sneaky pick last year, and he's kind of like that Derek White pick from a few years back before people found out how good a fantasy basketball player he was. That was sort of your Jaden McDaniels, although it's not the same amount of impact because he was getting those stocks from a guard position, where of course you're using a forward position to get those stocks from McDaniels. But still, I mean, he is as defensive minded as they come, and he's a capable offensive player too. So, and he's only 24, I think is what I saw when I was flipping through his notes. Only 24, so he's what year is this for him? Fifth year? I think this is his fifth year. I think he's the same. No, he's the year Anthony Edwards. He came in the same time as Anthony Edwards. So yeah, fifth season I think in the year. Sixth season. 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24. Yeah, sixth season. Wow. These years are just flying by. We got 2 picks left. Time to really dig deep, see what we can find. So I like Scoot. He's injured again, but he's not going to be out forever. He's one to take a look at. Jared McCain is still sitting out here too. Oh man, everybody's hurt. Everybody that I want is hurt. Jared McCain, hurt. Who else we got? Yeah, listing Cam Whitmore as a power forward. Wow. Not your typical power forward. He's more a shooting guard. Oh. Who else do I like? That is the question. I don't think Jaime is actually. Yeah, he's got way too many wings on that Miami squad for him to make an impact this year. Tyrese should be out for the season. Tatum also should be out for the season, but he looked pretty good. I think there was pictures of him dunking. I'm not saying he's going to make it back before the season ends, but if there's word that that's a possibility, then you better believe he's going to be picked up en masse. You want to get ahead of that for sure. Yeah, there's nobody else out here that really screams pick me. Jonathan Isaac is the player probably the player in the NBA that I wanted to break out the most that never did. Bryce Sensabaugh. Where was he? Taylor Hendricks. Hendricks? Oh no. Yeah, okay. Oh, he played 34 minutes on Saturday. Wow. That might be a nice little sleeper pick. Hmm. Okay. How many guys do I have that are hurt? One, two, two for sure, I think. They're out with injury. I think it's two. Two guards. I think everybody else is playing, so I can afford to pick up one more injured guy. One more guy on the injured list, I should say. And then one other guy after that. Oh, there's Filipowski out here as well. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let's go upside here. Towards the end of the draft, doesn't hurt to take a look at a guy like Scoot Henderson. They want him. They want him to take the lead reins at point guard. He has still some growth to show before that happens, and of course he's injured. But if he does, that third round or third pick in the draft, I think he was third, right? Yeah, it was Wemby, um, Brandon Miller, and then Scoot Henderson. So that third pick that they spend will be well, it would be a pick well spent if he actually gets back to the starting lineup and starts producing. Has to take a seat on the bench for now. Brooke Lopez is still sitting out there, but he's back up now. He's back up. So no longer is he the sneaky pickup that you could get helping you out in threes and blocks. Bronny James. Oh boy, somebody had to do it, right? Almost forgot he was in the league. You're just not good enough, son. All right, I think I can take Tatum off, and I probably should take McCain off as well. Let's take a look at that note again, just to kind of see if there's a timeline. Could miss the first month. Everybody's missing the first month of the regular season. Good lord. Jared McCain, what to do with you? Yeah, Maxi. Yeah, okay. I mean, if George gets a bounce back season and plays 60 games, if Embiid plays 50 games, um, McCain's offense is going to be capped. The biggest reason he went off last year is because the top three offensive players on that team missed a significant chunk of time. And then, of course, McCain also missed a significant chunk of time. So Yeah, I think that kind of sold me off or moved me off of McCain. So if it comes to me in my last pick here, I've got kind of who I'm gunning for. It is still out there. So we're going to go Taylor Hendricks. I'm intrigued. Last pick of the draft, you look at, well, the projected totals again, don't read too much into it here, but if it is to be believed, he could be a steal and block one per plus, 1 3-pointer. That's huge value for a player, in your last pick. So we're going to go ahead and draft him, hope for the best. But that's going to basically kind of do it for my team. So we're going to go back. Oh, draft results. I love these. I never pay attention to these either. These are kind of hokum. Um, it basically kind of ranks the projected stats and gives you a idea of where you land compared to the rest of your teams. If you go to average stats from last year or total stats, oh yeah, total stats I'm way down because a bunch of my guys are injured. But average stats, right up there. Well, I guess there's still picks to be had, but either way, I think I feel pretty good about how my team ended up here. Let's take a look actually at what we ended up doing. So going back to my theory, I wanted to have at least 5 guys with 20 points per game. Now, I don't know if Garland's going to get there this season. Hopefully he will if he has a repeat of last year. But we got Maxey for sure. Garland, Trey Murphy should be up there. Davis should be up there. Pascal will definitely be up there. So that's 5 already. And then we got Kawhi. And then we got, going down the list here, Jaden Ivey has that potential. DeJounte Murray has that potential once he gets back, and if he's healthy and he can actually start to shoot a little bit better, he's got that potential too. So there is some real good looking scorers on this team. Center is a little bit weak, but that's okay. I just need them to rebound pretty much and try not to take too many shots from the free throw line. Speaking of rebounds, my guards are not rebounding on this team. So I've got Davis, Klingon should be able to do it. Edie should be able to do it. Pascal, maybe. But we are definitely light on rebounding, something that I might have to address, in the in-season here. We'll have to see. Assists, we want 5 guys with at least 5 assists. Well, we've got Maxey. Nembhard is going to blow past 5 this year. Garland should be there as well. My forwards aren't really great with the assists here. DeJounte Murray, once he's healthy. Jaden Ivey has a shot at that. Scoot Henderson, once he's out there, has a shot at that. So I think I'll be okay with assists. Steals, I'm good. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys with at least 1 steal per game. Taylor Hendricks, again, this is only a 3-game sample size, so take that with a grain of salt. We'll have to see kind of how he does in a full season, but he's a stocks type of player, so I like if he gets that playing time, I like him for at least a steal a game. And then blocks, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 guys for sure. Yeah, I'm a little light on blocks. Edie and Klingon are definitely going to hold their own. Anthony Davis is going to be, even though he's getting up there in age, he's still going to be a 2-block a player. 2-block a game player, for sure. So I like that. I kind of like the start there, but then it drops off pretty handily after that. So that might be another area that I address as the season goes on. So I actually feel really good about that Donovan Klingon pick now because I didn't realize how shallow of a team I had in blocks. But overall, I think I did pretty good. We'll kind of see, of course, how the season goes. Good luck to all of the players in this league, all of the managers. Hopefully I will have some really competitive weeks when we go head to head. And thank you again for all those who watched this draft here. I've got one more scheduled for later this week. It's another draft that I'm in a group with That one though is going to be an auction draft, so a little bit of a different format than this draft here, but definitely one that you should watch if you're interested. We'd love to have you on the live. But that's going to do it here for this one. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on the next episode.